Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Amy Gretchen and I'm here today with another Project Life process video. Nothing new for this channel. It is the year 2021 and it is week 33, so it's in August. And I'm going to be using Ali Edwards' Story by the Month kit. This is the August themed kit, which is appropriate since this is an August themed week. And you saw at the very beginning, I just kind of walked through some of the supplies. One of the things that I'm realizing now that I've been using this kit for most of the year, that there are similar cards in each one. So the gratitudes card they have had every month. The card with the lines like the rainbow, that moments card, and then also the August that says this and that, the brownish one. That one is in every month as well. So it's kind of fun to have these kits be able to correlate to one another, especially if maybe you're working on Project Life on a monthly basis, because I think it has the ability to kind of tie things together or tie the months together throughout the year. And I think it would be a lot of fun to be able to use those kits in this way. Of course, I really like it, even though I'm doing it on a weekly basis. I think that it has a similar feel to it as well. All right, so let's hop into what I am doing. So like always, I had my photos down and then I worked with the cards in the kit. You can see that I used all of the cards that were similar design that had Ali's handwriting on them. I really love that it brought the spread together, but I love that they were all different rainbows because especially I think those rainbows really help to bring all these random photos together. And then I cut down a couple of the large or 4x6 cards. You saw me do that, the one that says here for the good vibes, and then the August one. And then I also grabbed the 4x6 card that had some of the labels or the yellow labels that had story 1, story 2, story 3. And I thought that they would be great to add to the photos just to give a little bit more story to this week. Although you can see I have a lot of journaling cards this week and a lot of options to tell a variety of stories. So you'll even see in the end, the last journaling I do, I was like needing to consult my journal and just remember and think about what other story could I possibly tell from this week. Right now, I'm working on a card that I created. I wanted to kind of point out that I had done a couple of calls this week with Lisa Varshine about her photography class. I don't know if you guys remember that from last year. Definitely check it out. It was a great class, but I did a couple chats with her talking about photography, which I've decided is one of my most favorite things to do. So I wanted to kind of highlight that. And as I did it, I used, what was the pen that I used? I will definitely have that pen linked below. It is one of my very favorite brush pens. And because I felt like there was this weird white gap between the type and the chipboard, I decided to add a little sentence there. There's a variety of ways that we can kind of fix I don't even want to call it a mistake, but some of the things that we end up doing on our layouts with an embellishment or more journaling or something like that. So definitely find those ways to make it work for you. And design wise, adding that sentence is one of those things that made it feel a lot better to me. And then I added those photos of Lisa and I underneath. I just cut it out. I think that picture that I was using was a 4x6, which is why I decided to just print it out and cut out the pictures of us. And now you can see that I'm doing the journaling on the labels. So those are specific stories. Obviously, those are specific stories that go along with each of the photos. And the story that I'm writing down right now, I feel like every summer, especially in August, there tends to be a lot of fires. Utah's a desert and it gets really dry. So that was a story kind of about that and what was going on there. All right, so one of the things that happened with this week, and I think this has definitely happened before, but there was a lot of white cards. You can see there's actually a lot of journaling that I did, and I even made mention that the last card that I ended up working on, I'm like trying to find a story to tell from the week. But at any rate, there's a lot of white, and I feel like it's just really noticeable because there's a lot of color in the design cards and there's a lot of color in the photos. Nothing is really I feel like very muted. Maybe that photo of me with the umbrella where it's rainy. But other than that, like it just felt like these huge pops of color and then a lot of white. Now, that doesn't mean that's bad. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. But visually, as I was looking through this and I kept going back and forth about adding embellishments and, where I wanted to put the cards, it felt unbalanced. It felt that there was, I don't even know how to explain it, but I just kept moving things around because something didn't feel right to me. And so I kept trying to make it feel right. So when I brought in that rainbow card that says moments, it was just so bold, just like the here for the good vibes was so bold. I didn't want them to be near one another. And so I was trying to split them up. And by splitting them up, I didn't want to have too many of the white cards near one another. And so it just kind of, I don't know. I just ended up being a spiral, but when you move one card, then you have to move another card, and then you have to move another card and another card. And then all of a sudden everything's in a different order, but kind of looking almost the exact same. So at some point I figure it out, and I think I will make a couple of shifts, but for the most part, I think this is definitely how it's going to look, and it is what felt good to me. So I'm moving on to journaling. I would love to hear in the comment section below if that happens to you guys, if you end up like putting things down and then moving everything around and then moving everything back. I feel like that's what I always end up doing. So anyway, it was just kind of funny to experience this firsthand, but then watch it back over, through the video. All right. So getting all of my journaling done, I felt like there was a lot that not happened this week, but I actually ended up seeing a lot of friends this week. And I was able to, like with this journaling right here with the eating, I was able to talk about friends that we saw through the lens of eating and the restaurant that we had gone to. I think we had gotten sushi at like a newer restaurant to us, if I remember correctly. So it was really nice to be able to tell a story like seeing friends through the lens of eating. And I would encourage you guys to look for opportunities to tell stories in that way. I think because as we're doing Project Life week after week after week, we're telling stories, and some of them may be a little bit similar than others, like, oh, I saw this friend or I did this. But if you can tell it through a different point of view, like food, I think that is a lot of fun and a great way to be able to add stories to your project life. So that's just a suggestion, something that I really enjoyed from this week. So the journaling is all done now, and I'm going to the embellishments, and I'm looking at the word phrase stickers. I always really love word phrase stickers because I feel like they give like a really cool design punch without being, too invasive on the photos. And then of course I always do enjoy, the chipboard as well, because I feel like that is very similar. I feel like they don't necessarily have to be very loud, but they can really add to the design. So the last thing I'm going to do is the title card, finish that up. And on the 3x4 stamp was the label, that same label that mimicked that yellow label that I put on the photos. And so I thought it would be really cool to do the exact same thing, kind of bring those labels together. And I stamped it out in black. I did kind of think about stamping it out in a different color, but because the card was white and there was a bunch of colors that said August, I felt like the label would stand out better if it was in black. So that's why I chose to do it in black. And then I just stamped out the dates and am going to be adhering that on. And then you guys, I think I'm done with this week. I don't remember adding anything more. Of course, I didn't mention that I added those little asterisk stars to the labels. And then of course you just saw that I just added the us there. I thought it kind of needed a little something to help anchor it down like those asterisk stars does to the other labels. So anyway, you guys, that is it. Thank you so much for being here and supporting this channel, and we will see you next time. Bye.